I just laid there, staring at him, taking in all of the features of his face and all the ways he's the same and all the ways he's different. This was the night of my oldest's 7th birthday. Motherhood, always wanting the next phase to come, not really understanding what you're leaving behind. Each phase has its own gritty parts, its own fun parts, its own energy. I actually used to have this fantasy as a kid that Peter Pan was actually real and that he would come and whisk me away and I would stay that age forever. I didn't realize what a gift it was to change and age and transform in spite of all of that. And sometimes just that thought, the idea that growth and age is a gift, can bring me more into the present. Not so far in the past and not too far in the future, just wanting to soak up the right now. And also knowing that there's this immense possibility that we are always changing, growing, longing for something, grieving. And that means those moments of presence are fleeting, but kind of profound. As I laid there, taking in all of the ways that he's changing, all of the ways he's exactly the same, it hits me like a ton of bricks. This human, this human made me a mom, a badge of honor and a title that I'm grateful to wear. But a word and a title that can get so under my skin when it is repeated a million times a day. A million times a day. The dichotomies of motherhood, when we hold two things that are true, equally loving being needed and wanting to be alone. And every day, in every way, they change and they stay the same. You change and you stay the same. Every couple of months or every year, promising yourself to be more present, to soak it all in, to be more playful, to make more memories, and equally never knowing if what you're doing is enough, being enough, responding enough, showing up enough, showing up too much. And little by little, they change day by day. Days turns into weeks, weeks turn into years. And for some parents, those years turn into decades. And little by little, they change and they age. They grow out of things. They pick up new things. And little by little, so do you. It's very different when you are in the newborn stage, to the toddler stage, to the school agers, to the teenagers. Every phase, two things are true. You let go and move forward of some of the things that were annoying or irritating or hard, and you move into a phase where things get a little easier. New challenges come in. And you never know. You never know when that moment is coming. You know, if you're anything like me, you've heard a lot or read a lot about those last moments. You know, the last moment they stop grabbing your hand, that last moment when they don't crawl into your bed anymore, that last moment when they no longer fight over the red or the yellow cup. You never know when that moment is going to be. And there's a bittersweetness about that, I think. Like the moment when They stop looking like an innocent child and they start looking like a child, a preteen, a teenager. You never know when that little bit of childhood flutters away. And yet, there's a bittersweetness in all of that. And I'm tearing up and I don't quite know why. Um, when it, you know what? It just sucks that when they are so little and sweet and kind and equally totally terrible, it just sucks that those early years are the years when you're the most tired and you have the least capacity and your relationship is on the back burner. That sucks. As I'm talking this out with you, that was inspired by that moment of laying next to my son on our special sleepover night when he gets to sleep in my bed when daddy's on night shift. He said to me the other day that he thinks he's getting too old for that. And so I'm finally feeling like I'm out of that toddler stage. My youngest is going to be 4 in the summer, and I can see it. I can see that glimmer of hope, that window of time between toddlers and teenagers where things do get a little bit easier. You can access a bit more of that chill and be more present. Um, my husband said to me the other day, it's like, when you're in the middle of little kids, you've got like 5 different stress cycles going at once, and you really don't have time to come down from any of them because by the time you've come down from the last one, the next one is starting, whether it's a crying child or a struggling nap time or meal time that's not going very well or diapers or potty training or whatever it is. It's like you've constantly got these stress cycles going and you don't have time to recover from them. So we were talking the other night and he said, "You know what? I actually feel now with the age of where the kids are at and the supports that we've had and the practices and things that we've implemented over the last 8 years since becoming parents, he's really starting to feel that he can actually complete his stress cycles because of the age, simply because of the age that the kids are at." And I have no idea what spawned that story. Um, but the little bit of me that started to tear up when I said that you never know when that little bit of childhood flutters away is, the very least, a bittersweet moment. And at best, magical. Watching your children grow, be who they were meant to be, and enjoy things and have passions and interests. It is a gift. And by no stretch of the imagination do I think that this semi fluffy podcast recording is all that parenting is, because if you know me, you know that I honor both sides of the story. I honor both the challenge and the gift, the grit and the gift. And so I voice recorded that little beginning the night that my son turned 7. And we've now come a whole year since then, and he's now 8. And I can tell you, for those of you in the thick of parenting, you have kids under 5. I can finally say that things do get a little easier with time. It is not always so hard. It is not always so arduous. And so, what is my point other than to share that little bit of wisdom with you? Is that I hope wherever you are at in your parenting, that you are taking time to honor what you need, that you are taking time to really be in the phase that you're in and give yourself the grace and the pep talk that maybe you need, that it won't be like this forever. And so, whenever you're listening to this, whatever time of day, wherever you are, whenever is the next moment you see your kids, I want you to look at them, really look at them, and notice the ways that they are all at the same time, different, but the same. And take a moment to really just be with them. Ask them about their favorite thing, watch their favorite thing, do something that honors who they are, not necessarily who you imagine them to be, if they're different from that view. Because every year that goes by, and I have opinions about birthdays, that's for another time. I think your children's birthday should be equally about the person who birthed them into the world. Just notice them, just take them in. Not only for them, to be present for them, but to honor the ways that you have shifted, changed, grown, transformed, even when it was uncomfortable and even when it was hard. Because you never know when that little bit of childhood flutters away from them. You'll never know when they stop grabbing your hand, the last time they don't sleep in your bed anymore, that moment when they get their own snacks and they don't care about the red cup anymore. And that doesn't mean that we armor up for those moments. It doesn't mean that by listening to this, I want you to be present every moment of every day. That's the message you get. No, you don't need to be present all of the time. You just need to be present for when it matters. And I think that's where I'm going to leave you today. I am going to simply say, if something resonated, if you took a little bit of wisdom from today, that you hold it. You hold it for yourself. It was meant to find you. And for hanging out with us today on the Chill Like a Mother podcast. If you had an aha moment or found yourself saying, oh yeah, me too, maybe share this podcast with somebody who might appreciate it, a friend, maybe in your mom group or on Facebook. Episodes come out every Sunday to help you with those Sunday scaries. And subscribe so that you never miss an episode and you can carry me, Kayla, around in your back pocket. If you liked this episode, please leave us a rating or a review. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to look at it behind the scenes and get exclusive ways to be more chill as a mom, follow me on Instagram at chill.likeamother. All of the mentionables are linked in the show notes, and always, this is not a replacement for professional advice, though we are professionals. We're not your professional, though we do encourage you to seek whatever professional supports you may need in your life. And in case you haven't heard it today, you deserve the time and the money that it might take for you to take care of yourself in whatever way you need taken care of. Have a relatively chill day and catch you in the next episode.